Let's chat about agent eruption in GTM,
Mm,
Keith. We'd be remiss by not having
of
someone
course.
from OpenAI and not talking about AI agents. There's a post every day that someone's writing about this eruption and tons of confusion around this space. Lots of excitement and definitely a bit of FOMO when it comes to AI agents. But I'd just love to give you the floor and let you share what you think is happening in this space with agents, where you think we're going. Specifically, like what's vaporware? What should folks know that is kind of not really serious? And what do you think is legit?
Yeah, so I think, where we are today in terms of the technology landscape, right? Um, the agent offerings that are on the market or are coming to market that are really of further investigation, if you will, at least this is my own personal perspective, are the ones that are being set up, sold, configured to do, let's just call it the more robotic tasks that us as humans and those in sales and marketing have had to do for a very long time, right? The things that are very clearly if this, then that, or turnkey, perhaps, right? Because that's what agents are going to be really good at, right? Now, as the technology becomes more and more sophisticated, and as anyone who's followed OpenAI has seen, right? Like the models just keep getting better, right? That paradigm will continue to shift, right? And eventually the agents will have near or even better human level intelligence, but at the same time, they won't always have the same context, right? So, and I've seen this take on LinkedIn and elsewhere, and I really do agree with it that if you're going to try to do anything involving some version of agentic orchestration, whether you're trying to build it yourself with technology like what OpenAI offers or through a third party vendor who's, making a big push for this sort of thing, you have to be really confident in what I'll call the less sexy elements of any deployment, right? All the things that we're all being honest, we know we need to do and we probably could do better, but especially if you're in hyper growth or early stage, you might count them more of a luxury than a necessity, right? And I'm talking about things like having really clear, understandable definitions of what the different data means in your organization, having a consistent level of syntax for that data, right? When I say X equals Y, I need to say that every single time. And then in addition to that, you need to make sure your data is as consistent, tagged, categorized, codified as much as possible because again, the agents, aren't there yet where they can, fill in some of the gaps that the human brain is capable of doing today, right? And so you've got to make these things more mechanical in nature, if you will. The models will get better. They'll be able to make more and more educated guesses or informed decisions as we go. But where we're at today is that you've got to have your stuff in order, and if you want to deploy anything, so I wouldn't say that there's a end all be all dictionary definition of this is vaporware, this isn't. I would just say you have to have these things in place, and you should be trying to deploy them to do these types of things. If you're trying to do other things, then like all power to you. Like the innovation will come, and I think it'll be here sooner than we know it. But that's where it's a little more conceptual at this stage, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's the great advice and music to the ears of ops folks who have been trying to get those foundation pieces in place for a decade, and now everyone's screaming about AI and we need to get AI in place, and the ops team finally has a really good case to build for data quality and
Yeah.
data dictionaries and all the stuff you kind of talked about there.
But
I'm curious.
well, real quick, what's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
really interesting point though is that even where the technology is today can help accomplish a lot of that,
Mhm.
right? Because
Mhm.
some of that is somewhat menial or mundane in nature, right? It's a lot of, read through this, analyze this, come up with definitions. We built our entire data dictionary using our technology
Mm.
because you can trust the models to make elementary sort of level assumptions of, oh, I see this field is called XYZ. I think it's this, right? And you can shortcut the journey to having all of that stuff in order with that technology.